Before this video starts, I am aware there are multiple videos already that teach you how to double pump. I am merely showing you my approach and techniques toward it and explaining it with some more visual detail than those existing videos. So this video will feature a tutorial along with my highlights. If you are just interested in the highlights and already know how to double pump, skip over a couple minutes. If you are interested in the tutorial more than the highlight reel, stay put, we're going to dive right in. Okay, so you want to double pump on console. I feel you, man, and I completely understand. Ever since Epic Games brought this factor back, it has been my favorite choice of poison against my enemies. In my opinion, anyone can double pump. It is just a matter of three factors, which are 1. Muscle memory, how comfortable you are when in action on the double pump. 2. Coolness under pressure, how well can you maintain yourself in the heat of the moment. And 3. Patience and discipline, how much time and effort are you willing to dedicate to learning and mastering this technique. Will you live up to your dreams of becoming the next console Daquan?
What do you mean?
Or will you revert to your pump tactical combo? Okay, so now you know what kind of mentality you need to learn and master this tactic. What goes on in game? Well, first and foremost, I highly recommend switching your controller layout to either Builder Pro or Combat Pro. This is as you will need to access the R1 and R2 buttons on PlayStation and the RB and LB buttons on Xbox quickly for this method to work. That's right, Xbox folks, I didn't forget about you. So prior to jumping in a game, tweak those settings to either Combat or Builder Pro and hit wire triangle to confirm and apply those settings. Next, the next step is practice, and can you guess it?
Talking about practice.
Yep, that's right, practice. Land yourself in a far location away from the bus path and away from most players. Places I recommend are Lonely Lodge, Snobby Shores, Flush Factory, Junk Junction. You know, basically any location you know people wouldn't instinctively go to for high level loot. Acquire yourself some pump shotguns or combat shotguns and have them in your first 3 slots in your inventory. With all shotguns primed and ready, the 3 basic buttons you are going to want to remember to connect are L2 LT, R2 RT, and R1 RB. In the order on screen, you're going to want to connect those buttons and repeat as you cycle through your shotguns. Try to practice slow at first, as seen in the following clip. A tip I have for you is to grip the R2 button with your middle finger and your R1 RB button with your index finger. As you get more accustomed to the buttons, speed up the rhythm of your shots. You don't want to go too fast, as there is some delay involved and your shot might not register if you fire too fast. Another common mistake I commonly make myself of firing too fast is switching and confusing the pattern. For instance, I might aim and prepare to fire, but I mistakenly hit R1 RB instead of R2 RT, switching my weapon to the next slot over instead of the desired gun. Another key thing to note is to always have your weapon selector in the first box, so it will cycle to boxes 2 and 3 next. You don't want to start on the 3rd box and switch to your rifle in close quarter situations. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Practice until you are comfortable doing it alone, and if you find somebody, don't be afraid to practice it on them. Remember, confidence is key, and learning through failure will get you prepared for fights in the future. But wait, there's more. Say you don't want to use 3 of your 5 slots on shotguns, and that's perfectly fine. I usually like to run a rifle. I would like to carry shields or bandages. Here's my second method. The pros to this method 2, is you will have an extra inventory slot to store your items, and you will do much better in switching from boxes, in theory. So the first half remains the same. Aim, shoot, and switch. However, after your second shot on your second box, instead of pressing RB R1, you are going to press LB L1 to switch back to your first shotgun in your inventory. In my opinion, this method is a little bit harder to master, but it is manageable and will probably be more beneficial in the long run. Learning to switch back to weapon slots 1 and 2 can be used in method 1 mentioned before, in which you have 3 shotguns in your inventory. Now, say you have 2 shotguns or 3 shotguns in your inventory. If you were to fire all your shots in quick succession, If you have 3 shotguns, you could fire a total of 15 shots towards your enemy without the need for reload. But if you were to be more efficient and just use 2 shotguns, you would still have 10 shots to deliver to your opponent, which in my opinion, both are really more than enough than what you need to finish off your enemy. Now, when in battle, always make sure to build before you shoot. You're going to want the closest shots possible for maximum damage to your opponents. Aiming for the head isn't entirely necessary at first as you're learning, as you have an extra shotgun or 2 to support you in case they don't die on the first shot. But it is recommended in getting the job done quicker and saving your health bar from dropping and needing meds and shields. Upon winning your battle, take that loot you deserve, and who knows, maybe you might see that victory royale pop up at the end of your game. If you lose, don't give up. Rome wasn't built in a day, and I definitely didn't get this down in the first few hours. So, in conclusion, the 4 main things to remember are: number 1, Builder Combat Pro layout for your controller. Number 2, aim, shoot, and switch. Number 3, practice, practice, practice. And number 4, patience and discipline. I hope you enjoyed this in-depth tutorial, and if you found this useful, make sure to leave a like and perhaps subscribe. Before I get on to the highlights, I would like to give a shout out to our most recent subscriber, Aaron Aparicio. I apologize if I pronounced that wrong. As a content creator, I can't thank you enough for subscribing, and I'm glad that my work is being reached out beyond my circle of friends. It has been, I'd say, about a year and a half that I've been at 20 subscribers, and a year and a half later, here we are at 21. I hope I can keep you entertained and to continue to produce for you high quality content. This concludes my tutorial. Now let's roll the highlight reel.